How is everybody doing today? All right. Popular by popular demand. I get asked a lot of questions, and we're going to answer 20 of your questions today. I think about 20. We're going to go through. And so I'm going to do more of this where I'm going to go through all the questions, and here on the podcast channel, we'll tackle them for you. So we can dive into a lot of things people want to ask me. So I'm going to try to my best get to my favorites, right? My favorites. So here we go. And they might not all be questions, but they're all interesting. Here we go. Mr. Short Game, can you make a tour of the Garden City Golf Club, please? I would like to move to New York and become a member of that club and would like to see what it is like there before I make a big move. Wow. Okay, Garden City Golf Club. If anybody has any way to get me on there, I will come out there and do a video. I know nothing about it. So let me know. Comment below. Let me know what we could do. We try to get permission. I hate just rolling in and getting everybody in trouble. So Garden City Golf Club, we have a guy who wants to join, and if you let me come out and do a nice video, he might uproot his entire life, make a giant move just to be a member of your club. So, Watari Jefferson. We'll see what we can do. All right? Hang tight. Hang tight is what I'm saying. Next up, Polly Walnuts says, SG, everyone asking about those shoes. They look like Jordans, but can't find them. What are they? Okay. In a lot of my videos in the studio, I wear different shoes. They're either the low dunks that I would get from either Stadium Goods or the Nike app or the sneaker app. So those are my three go-to apps. And I just got a new pair of the Nike Air Max 90 golf shoes. Those things are fire too. So yeah, thanks for asking about the shoes. They're Jordans. They are Jordans. And if they are or sometimes I wear Jordan golf shoes. I've got the black Jordans that you see Harold Varner wear. I don't like wearing those ones though. They're too big. They fit right. They're just too thick. So I'm not a fan of those. That's just me. A lot of people love them though. But yeah, they're Jordans. Low dunks typically. Or the Jordan 1s. Lows. Okay. This is a comment, but I'm going to answer this question. You definitely doubled the first and cut out the footage. All right. Here's the thing. And this has to do with one of the playing videos, and I didn't show the remainder because I didn't finish. Like, I just picked it up. Why? Look, I'm out there. It's the first hole. I'm out there, me and two camera guys, and people think that I'm going to be slow because I got a camera crew and whatever. I'm faster than a guy playing by himself typically because I'm just going. But sometimes it appears as though I'm slow because there's camera guys with me. So on the first hole, it was a debacle anyways. I was making a mess. I'm grinding over one putt, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I should have a tap in par, and I got 8 feet for bogey or for par, and I miss it. And I'm like, all right, I'm not going to go grind over it again because there's a twosome in the fairway, and they can't necessarily see the twosome ahead of us that we're waiting on anyways. It was a slow day out there. So instead of sitting there grinding over a 4-footer, I picked it up and moved on. I would have made it. I probably would have made it. Anyways, I'm just trying to be cognizant of the perception people have of me while I'm filming. And sometimes on the first hole in particular, that could happen. So, no, I didn't double it. I wouldn't have doubled it. Nice try. Anyways, question next up from Ron Carlton. Question about wedges and shafts. Should wedges be the same shaft as your irons? I have the UST recoil shafts in irons, but standard weight shafts in my Vokey. Okay, the question is, should the shafts in your wedges be the same? Typically, I go a little heavier in my wedge shaft setup because I want less flex in the shaft, a little heavier feel. So I don't typically use the same weight shaft. I go a little bit heavier, which makes it a little less flexible. So there you go. Easier to control, but they won't go necessarily as far. So you got to adjust it and calculate. But the answer is no. Different shafts. Okay, next up from Golf Weed. How long does the net last? 1,000 shots, 10,000 shots, 100,000? I don't know if it lasts 100,000 shots. This is referring to one of the reviews I did on a golf net. And it really depends on what club you're hitting and like how consistently you hit it in the same exact spot. It's a big difference. If you're hitting wedges, nets typically last a long, long time. And if you're hitting driver all the time and you're hitting it fast and in the same spot, it's 100 shots. Like it's not going to last that long. So you might need to do some repair work, things like that. So there's a lot of factors involved, but they don't last that long. I've had to, patch up some holes, and I would use like a zip tie to do that. That seems to work pretty well. Or like a piece of, not yarn, but thick string. Next up from Steve Perry. Oh, dude, love your music. Anyways, Mr. Short Game, do you think that golf courses would allow these on the property? Oh, okay. And take away, that's, he's asking about the bicycle, the electric bike. So no, they don't typically so what the private clubs have told me is, you can't use that here. Here's why. Liability, right? You have to have like insurance. They have insurance for the carts that you drive. So they would need some type of insurance for a bicycle. Like if you crash, they don't want to get sued. Also, they don't want a lot of places don't want people to customize their own bike. So like a lot of courses, when you have your own golf cart, you pay a trail fee and that covers you for insurance purposes and things like that. So if you have your own bike, you would need that. And people customize their own golf carts. They lift them and do all kinds of stuff to them. So what I've told is we don't want everybody to have their custom bike. Like one would go 80 miles an hour, one would be big. So there's a lot of challenges, but the public courses allow this more often. And typically they charge you a little like trail fee, they call it. All right. Matt Coffett. Something like that. Coming late to this and just put my simulator together. Anyone know why he says, if the tee stands up on its own, it's bad, looking at a mat. So this is referring to mats that you purchase for using at your home, right? These golf mats that you hit off of. So what I've been told is some you could put a tee in and it'll stand up. So typically those are really thick and there's not a lot of give to them if a tee can stand up in it. And it just doesn't have the right amount of give. And so it's worse for your body, your wrists. I don't know if that's necessarily true. That's what I was told by a guy who owned a company that made mats and the tee didn't stand up in his. So maybe he was just telling me that to make his mat seem better. I don't know for sure, but the one I use is really good, custom design golf, and it just gives. Now, I don't know, there's a lot. It's good because it's got a little flexible deal in it, so it gives away. I like it. Anyways, there you go. So, but be careful. Really do your due diligence when buying a golf mat. Next up, Barry, Mudsman. All right. Not a comment, but a question. Thanks. How often do you use a putting stroke with a 6 or 8 iron or pitching wedge? Seems to work well for me. Okay, he's talking about chipping, right? Chipping methods. How often do I use like a 6 or 8 iron and just my putting stroke? I use my hybrid or a 5 wood more often than like a 6 or 8 iron. Occasionally I'll use an 8 or 7 iron or 9 iron chipping, not that often. And a lot of times I'll use my 5 wood, little bump and run, or I used to use a hybrid. So that's when I use my putting stroke for my chipping. But typically I would go with one of my wedges, gap wedge, sand wedge, lob wedge. So not that often for me, but it's a very effective way to go and it's a safe way. I'm more trying to hole it out. So I would kind of fly it a little bit further. I see the course a little better that way. And if it's really challenging, I'm either putting it with a putter or my 5-wood. Gosh, it's a tiny one. Let me throw on my glasses for this one. Oh, this guy. I sent you a video on Twitter, just never heard back. Yeah, don't do that. Not to be mean or anything. I get a million videos sent to me. I used to do swing analysis where I would charge for the video, and I got too many. I was too busy just doing those. It was like a full-time job. So I really don't do that anymore. It's just too time consuming. And if I'm going to do a swing analysis, I'm going to dive in and really go deep on it. And so if you just send me your swing, I do look at them. There's not a lot I can do with it. Sorry. I could, So every now and then somebody catches me at the right time. I'll be honest. And I look at it and I'll reply back on Twitter or, wherever, however you send it to me, right? Sometimes I send it back, or I'll just give a voice little message or something. Every now and then, you got to catch me at the right time. Like, it's got to be perfect. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm just, it pops up, and I'm looking, and I got a minute. So, don't everybody send me a video. Pick the right time. Just think about, when would Mr. Short Game be chilling out, ready to give me some feedback? Then, if you do it then, I got you. For free. If you don't, forget it. There you go. Should your landing spot, this is from Night Train, 1957. I like that. Come on, Night Train. Should your landing spot be different for each of those clubs? Talking about a little chip and run. Speaking of that 7-8 iron, I always like to keep the same landing spot and let it roll out. Like, if I'm using that shot. Because if you're changing your landing spot, then it's easier to keep the same landing spot and just change your club, because you're kind of keeping the same swing, right? If you're changing your landing spot every time, then you're changing your swing a little bit, and that gets a lot more inconsistent. So, landing spot for me, especially when I'm practicing, is always going to be the same. I want to land it there, because then I can say, this rolls out that much, this rolls out that much, and so on and so forth. And if I'm gearing up, let's say a tournament or some event, and I want to know the speed of the greens and how the ball reacts that day, I'll hit a few of those, like pitching wedge, 9 iron, 8 iron, and say, okay, land it here. This is the rollout I'm getting for the day. So keep that the same. I like keeping it the same. There you go. Oh my gosh. All right. Matt, do you need an app to use this at the range? I don't have, okay. I believe that's the Swing Caddy SC300 review. You do not need an app. You can have an app. That thing has a display, digital display, beautiful outdoors. It's great. That thing's fantastic. So you do not need an app to use it outdoors at the range. That's what's great about some of these launch monitors, is I like the ones where I don't have to use my phone and waste my battery on my phone. It just is there, ready to go. So there you go. That's what I like. Make it simple. All right. Goodness. Does playing off, this is great. Does playing off brown dead grass affect your game, or does it feel pretty normal? So first off, the grass is brown. It's not dead. Okay. It's dormant. There's a big difference. It's not dead grass. It's just brown grass. It's something I'm having to get used to. I'm from California. That doesn't really have it. Grass doesn't really go dormant. Out here on the East Coast, the Bermuda grass, it goes dormant, it turns brown, and it's the same as playing off of green, non-dormant grass. It's basically the same. It's not a big deal. The putting surfaces are incredibly faster because the grass doesn't really grow, and it's bent grass, so those can stay green. They gotta, you gotta take care of those in the winter. They gotta like cover them when it gets too cold. It's tricky. Anyways, but the fairways and the rough, the dormant Bermuda rough is way easier to play out of than in the spring and summer time, because it's just thicker and more challenging. But once you get used to the Bermuda rough, you figure it out. It's pretty easy. But it's not dead. It's just brown. It's cool. It's fine. No big deal. All right, moving on. I see you pulled the Titleist driver out of the bag. Time for a new what's in the bag. I did pull it out to use the Paradigm for testing purposes to see if I like the paradigm, and to see when I do club reviews, I don't just review it once. When you see the review like of the paradigm and versus the Titleist, that's after me playing with paradigm for a month. Like, I guarantee you this, like if I played with paradigm for a month and I didn't like it, I would let you know about it. I would tell you in the review, you would know. Now, I was impressed. And then I did the video, it just came out today actually, on my main channel. And what's interesting is this, man, it's hard to pick. I love them both, Titleist and TSR2. So I'm letting you guys pick. And that's what I'll put in the bag. But that's what I do. I put stuff in play for a long time before I even review it. Just so I know. I got a full experience with it. And all right, here we go. Man, a Mr. Short Game course vid. Glad to see you're back out. Any matches or guests in the pipeline for 2023? Thank you very much. Yes, we're going to do more course vlogs. And I'm just refining that, honing those in to really give you all, what you want and what's going to help the most, right? It's not just about watch me play golf. Like, forget that. I want you guys to get better because I think we can all learn and grow. And I wish somebody did this for me. So refining and honing. And yes, there are matches in the pipeline for 2023. Okay, there you go. So we're getting that together for you. Hopefully you got some good ones coming up. All right. Can you do a video on how to increase driver speed? Yes, I can. I've done them before. I will do a video. Now, there's two ways to do this. One is I can increase your club head speed by like 5 or 7 miles an hour in one session. But it's not sustainable, right? So do you want to just do it for a few swings, or do you want to grow and have 10 miles an hour faster forever? Well, probably not forever, but for a longer period of time. Probably that, right? Option B. That takes a lot more time. And you're going to have to put in the work to get there. That's going to be like training and workouts and really growing your club head speed over time. So you could lose, it's kind of like losing weight. Well, if you don't eat for a week, you could drop a lot quickly. But then after 5 days, you're going to go to town and you're going to gain it all back plus. I don't want that to happen. Same with club head speed. I can get you quick, but you're going to drop off quick. So, all right, let's get you geared up long term. That we can do. We'll work on that. Okay. Oh, Felix Gallardo. Dude, a guy who's not even a scratch golfer making a video on how to break par is like me telling a fish how to walk. Thanks, Felix. This is funny. Do you know, one, I'm just going to fire back. You don't know what a scratch golfer is. A scratch golfer isn't somebody who shoots par every time, FYI. A scratch golfer is somebody who, on average, shoots par or better most of the time. My index is +1. So on average, I'm 1 under par. And a matter of fact, if you understand how the handicap system actually works, in a nutshell, you're taking your best rounds. Let's say of your last 20 rounds, we're taking your 10 best. So it's not even your average. It's the best of your best. And that determines your index, your handicap, your scratch golfer-ness. And just because I shot over, do you not want me to post a video where I struggle a little bit? That's more beneficial for you because we all are going to struggle with our game a lot. I struggle with my game a ton. There's a lot of times I'm 3 over, 4 over, 6 over, 7 over. It happens, okay? Doesn't mean we're not scratch golfers. I shot 5 under the other day. Like, things happen. Good things happen, bad things happen. I had 5 birdies in a row. That happens. I had 5 bogeys in a row. That happens too. That's golf. All right. But that doesn't mean the information isn't beneficial. So people who make comments like this, Felix, I get it, right? I put out a video where I was like 3 over. Wait, and if you saw the back nine, I was also 3 over. So I was 6 over for the day. It was not my best day. Course was tough, challenging. However, you're never going to break par if you can't learn from other people. And so that's what I'm trying to do. I learn. We all learn together. We all grow together. But I am a scratch golfer, and I'm actually better than a scratch, just in case you're wondering. But just because you're a scratch doesn't mean you're not going to shoot over par. The pros who are plus 7, 8, 9 index handicaps, right? Plus, which is way better, they occasionally shoot over par. It happens. Happens to everybody. There you go. Here we go. Matt, what's the status of your trying the senior tour? What's my status? Here's the status. It's challenging. Here's why. I need to make content. I make content. Like, I love making content. That's my job. Like, this is my job. So there's your job, and then there's your dream. So do I want to continue to improve and try to qualify? Yes. Am I going to try to do that? Yes. How am I going to do that? I don't know, right? It's happening, but what do I love? I love what do I love? I think we all have this dream that the ultimate goal is to be on the tour. And in a sense, like, dude, I got a path of where I golf for a living and make videos about it. That's pretty good. I don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. This is great. What I'm doing, I love it. It's a dream come true for me. So I don't want to leave one dream for another dream. So there's a balance. I do want to get as good as I can because I love the game. And I want to compete because I love competing and I love playing. So trying to find the balance there. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. But so that's kind of the update. We don't know is the short answer. Jeff Morris says, great content. Thank you, Jeff. What are the chances you bring the big cat and coach out of retirement for a video or two? I feel like to see you all play with some of the YouTubers, great. Thank you. Yeah, I do some videos with Coach occasionally because, you know, we're good friends, and I go out to Cali a lot. When I'm there, we connect and we play some golf, and I film it. So yeah, there's a chance they'll both come out and do a video with me. The chances of them doing content on their channel, you're going to have to wait till the Banded Dunes trip to see Mike make some videos. So he'll do a video, or probably a video there. So that would be cool to see him do that. And when I'm out there, I always hit him up and we try to play. So there you go. What are the chances of them getting out of retirement permanently? Probably zero, unfortunately. All right. Here we go. Vince, do you suggest changing anything when you have a really tight lie? Yes, I do. Tight lies are tough. You can either open that face and use the bounce of the club, which is scary because you're thinking, oh, it's a tight lie. And when I open the face, that leading edge comes up. So it just depends how far you are from the green. So the closer you are, the scarier it's going to be. But with that, I would say, dude, if you're scared about it, if it's challenged, use your hybrid or your 5-wood and just putt the thing, or putt it, right? Do that. That's what I would change. That would be my number one. And if you're in the fairway with the tight lie, I would don't move the ball back, move it up. Move it up a little more, because it's better to hit it a little thin than fat. And I don't want you coming too far down on it. So just move it forward in your stance a little bit. All right. Last question from Ryan Johnson. People are asking, what's on my hat? What's on my hat? That is the microphone. Okay. When I have a little fuzzy thing on there, that's for wind noise. And the audio quality is really good. And I put it on my hat because I don't want it rustling around here on my shirt. And my shirt is kind of usually light and it flops down and it's annoying here. And if I use a wireless mic, it's okay, but sometimes it rustles on the clothing and people don't like to hear that. If I put it up here, it looks weird, but it sounds great. So I'm doing that. I do have a wireless. Maybe I'll use that next time. I know, whatever. People see something weird on your hat. When I'm indoors and I use it, it's different because it's just, you can't see it. But outside with the fuzzy guy on there, then it looks weird. It's a microphone. There you go. There's 20 kind of questions that have been coming up. Keep asking your questions here and on my main channel. We'll try to get to them as often as we can. Thanks for listening. Take care. See you soon.